What's the equivalent of going to a White House dinner and being served McDonald's? Buying a $500 ticket to Coachella and being played a college kid's Spotify playlist on a $50 portable speaker. So, Fire Festival? If only they didn't even have music. Going to work and not getting paid. Going to a party that turns into an intervention. And it's an intervention for something which is perfectly normal everywhere except in your town or extended family. No grandnephew of mine is going to be a serial eater. Quote, having Gordon Ramsay serve you frozen fish sticks. Still frozen. What's Gordon Ramsay's favorite Disney film? It's fucking Frozen. What's Gordon Ramsay's favorite sub? Missed out the it's fucking. Going to a job interview and walked into a room with 20 other applicants and they start a freaking PowerPoint presentation about partnering at a one-time low cost rate and then you two can work for the company. Bullshit. Had a girl give me her number at a bar once. She texted me the next day and invited me over to discuss a business opportunity selling nutritional sports drinks with her and some of her friends. Was it called Invigoron? Did she look like a bird? And was her name Dee? No, yes, no. Getting a toothbrush when trick-or-treating. If this was a regular thing alongside socks and mason jar tops, I would absolutely trick-or-treat as an adult. You see your favorite band but they're all drunk and playing like shit. This happened to me with Weezer. Specifically, the lead singer was messed up. The rest of the band seemed fine. The worst part is that a lot of people say Weezer is great live. So I must have caught them on a bad night. Winning an event in the Olympics and getting a chocolate medal. Getting a bachelor's degree and then having to work at McDonald's. Greater than being a White House chef. Winning $10,000 on a roulette table only to be given a $100 Amazon gift card because tonight is an annual charity event put on by both the casino and your girlfriend's church but she didn't tell you. But hey, at least you get the satisfaction of knowing that the $320 you dropped tonight is going to the pro-life fund. I mean, you are pro-life, aren't you? You alright, bro? Yeah, that was way too specific. This guy was obviously planning on robbing the casino. My wife worked at Toys R Us a few years back, and as is customary in retail had to work overnight on Thanksgiving night and into Black Friday. They told all the employees not to bring any food because they would be providing meals for the monsieur. She came home super pissed and said that the provided meal consisted of a honey bun from the vending machine in the break room and a Capri Sun. Not exactly the same, but when told you're providing a meal to someone, maybe actually provide a meal. Edit. Holy hell. This blew up. Thank you to the kind stranger who graced me with silver. I'm glad my wife's misery got me fake internet points. That's grounds for mutiny. Going to an expensive hairdresser for bleaching. Paying extra for Olaplex to soften the damage. Having half of your hair ripped out because she tried to lift 4 levels above what you asked for and very aggressively brushed it while wet. Then being made to brush the other half of it yourself while she went and made herself a tea. I went home and cried for the rest of the day. Girl, that is so specific, you damn near made me cry too. You poor thing, that was torture. Finding a village without a blacksmith. Oh, that happened to me recently. I burned it to the ground. Getting your federal paycheck for 96 hours worked and it's $0. Being invited to a friend's house for a girls' night that is spa-themed, only to arrive and find out it's a MLM direct sales makeup skincare presentation. My mom, who was recovering from cancer, won a makeover for her and 5 guests. She invited all of her daughters to join her. Yeah, it was an MLM for makeup. We all had to put our own makeup on and sit through a meeting where the sellers got pins and crap and tried to get us to sign up. Mom got nothing. Wanted to punch the lady. I've never been so mad. When I was in grade school I entered and won a statewide essay contest for an organization that claimed it could keep kids off drugs. First prize was an entire collection of baseball cards. I mean hundreds and hundreds of brand new cards which are probably worth a fortune now. The prize was going to be presented at a ceremony with our state senator. It was a big fucking deal. I had to give up my chance to go to camp with my friends in order to be at the ceremony, but there was no way I was going to miss it. Let me tell you motherfuckers what happened. The contest organizers decided, because I was a girl, that I wouldn't want baseball cards. Instead, they waited until I was on stage and in front of cameras to inform me I was getting a fucking pink teddy bear they had bought as a substitute. They then gave the cards to the kid who came in second place, who happened to have the correct genitalia needed to enjoy baseball cards, but who also was in a wheelchair, so my mother didn't dare to complain. The year after that I started smoking pot. Fucking 80s. Man. Going to your employee's house and getting steamed hams. You call them steamed hams despite the fact that they are obviously grilled. Sitting down to dine at a well-dressed table, only to find out they've set out those plastic cutlery that look just like silverware. Edit. Thanks for the silver kind, stranger. Hope it's not made of plastic. Your partner talking up their parents cooking forever. Then the first time you go over to meet them, it's left overnight. You could always not know what a potato is to spice things up. A what? You know, a potato. Traveling in a TARDIS and only visiting Earth during World War II, and just England, -10 degrees Celsius with no snow. When you think you're going to the park but you get taken to the vet instead. Going to the doctor to be prescribed homeopathics. Went to the doctor for an obvious bacterial infection. She said, it's allergies. Charged me $600 and sent me home despite my protest. I then got all my coworkers sick. Their doctors gave them real meds. And I got to be sick for 3 weeks because I could not afford to go to the doctor once, let alone twice. Edit a word. Paying $65 for a convention ticket because you were expecting certain speakers and musical guests, only to find out that they all canceled and there are no refunds and the only recompense is an extra hour in the ball pit. And then hearing them beg for more money. Working hard all year and not getting a Christmas bonus while the company reports substantial growth and profit. At least you got a subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club. Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year. It's like that Oprah's Favorite Things episode where she didn't give the audience any freebies. The looks of the faces of the audience members were freaking hilarious, and are worth a watch. If you can find the episode. Edit. The most I can find is that the episode was in 2008, and it was titled, How to Have the Thriftiest Holiday Ever. Quote, doesn't she give freebies every year though? She actually did an annual episode where she didn't give anyone anything? People flip their shit when they realize they're on that episode. I gotta find this video. Happens all the time. Easy way to tell is if your SSN is required to enter the audience. If you're getting nothing, then it's not required. Relatedly, being promised Oprah but instead getting some random girl your boss met on a plane while on sleep med and called Borbo. Go to McDonald's and being served a White House dinner. McDonald's should advertise that. Wanna dine like in the White House? Order here. Offer lasts only as long as the government shutdown. Quote, I'll have the state dinner number 3. Would you like that super-powered? Quote, yeah, why not? And your share of the national debt comes to $41,000. Can you add that to my student loan bill? Sure thing, but interest accumulates 6 seconds after your last bite. Going to Buckingham Palace to eat with the Queen in shorts and flip-flops and being served corn dogs and ice cream cones. That sounds amazing to me, TBH. But then again, I'm Australian. Shorts and thongs are basically our dress code. Getting a platinum in AskReddit. Getting platinum 5 minutes after commenting. Teach me your ways. Edit. Instructions unclear. Ended up with Reddit silver. I suspect the secret was commenting about a platinum on AskReddit. It was secret. Now everybody knows how to get a platinum on AskReddit. Don't tell them how to get a gold. Going to New York City and eating Olive Garden in Times Square. Going to a strip club and seeing your mom walk out on stage. Going to a Boys Who Cry concert and getting Squidward. When my tear ducts give issue, I can't use just any tissue. I need 4-ply. 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 When I cry, voting for president and getting Trump. It's like we ordered off the kids' menu. Buying art at an auction and seeing it get shredded right after. You mean watching it increase in value immediately after? Seeing a Facebook post that's absolute gold. Then you go to the comments expecting more golden comments to laugh at. But it's just full of people tagging their friends. Greater than a Facebook post that's absolute gold, except the White House actually exists. Paying crazy amounts for college and then eating slop from their cafeteria. Fuck Aramark. Going to a White House dinner, and only getting to meet Donald, the McDonald's of presidents. This is offensive to McDonald's. Paying over $1,000 for an iPhone and only having 64 GB of storage. Paying over $1,000 for an iPhone and not being allowed to repair it. Paying over $1,000 for an iPhone. Going on Reddit and seeing an egg. Paying for a hotel room at the Hilton and being put in a tent outside. Lol. I booked a room at the Hilton on my wedding night, but the fire alarm was on the fritz, so we spent the night in the parking lot with a youth soccer team. Monsieur, so yeah? Can confirm, monsieur. Going to Blizzard headquarters, and the only game they will let you play is Diablo Immortal. Buying a $60 video game that is riddled with microtransactions. I was working at Best Buy in Sonoma County and met a customer who I'm fairly sure was Tom Waits. I had heard he hates it when people get starstruck or even bring up who he is, so I did my best to treat them like a normal customer despite my desire to just talk about life and the cosmic beings that we are. I felt terrible afterwards, like I had one chance to ask the Dalai Lama something and it had to be paper or plastic. Quote. It's really nice of you to put your wants aside and be so respectful though. Getting a wall constructed and someone making an underground system underneath it. Living in the richest country in the world and not having universal health care. Living in a state with the right to education in its Bill of Rights and an express mandate for free higher education, and being told it is a moral imperative that students buy into their education by paying tuition and fees large enough to cover the costs of the class. Being told to pay thousands of dollars in the same state for a vocational training program because there the current wages are high due to a shortage of workers. And then finding out that they sold that line to thousands of kids, so the wages decreasing due to an increased supply of labor. That your parents' generation sold off your workers' rights, so you're fucked sideways on benefits and negotiation power. And there was never a shortage of technically skilled labor, but instead a shortage of workers with the soft skills they didn't teach you in the vocational program. Monsieur, then your spouse gets pregnant, but you're part-time at 36 hours and don't get insurance. And the ACA compromise has stuck you with a shitty insurance, so it'll cost $8,000 just to have a kid. Of course, you then find out you can't afford to go back to school. And with a third member in your family, your income is now below the threshold to qualify for the ACA, but your state didn't expand Medicaid. Now you're told to go to the community health center. But they don't cover anything but vaccines, and you lay awake at night worrying what will happen if your recovering wife, child, or yourself have a medical emergency that will plummet you into debt so high it outstrips the small savings you were making to put a down payment on a house. America, I've got another one. Going to a carnival and paying $5 to see a freak show attraction that consists of shit like Mike, the world's tallest midget. Going to see a Broadway musical rendition of Rochelle starring Bette Midler, only to find out that Midler's part will be played by her understudy because she was injured in a softball game earlier in the day. cloning is invented, the Beatles are reunited and they only play Nickelback covers. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.